So apparently by age 30, you're supposed to have 1 year's salary saved. Which is fantastic news if you're a squirrel hoarding acorns in a magical tax-free forest retirement account. But for the rest of us? Yeah, not exactly easy. Today, we're talking about how much money you should realistically have saved at every age, without the fake guru nonsense, without pretending everyone's born with rich squirrel parents, and without assuming you've been investing since you were 6 years old selling lemonade futures. And to help us out, we've got Scout. Scout is our financially confused squirrel mascot. He means well. He once spent 3 months at Acorns on a custom gaming tree branch. He regrets nothing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squirrel Away Savings, the channel where we talk about money in a way that doesn't make your brain feel like it's filing taxes at a DMV waiting room. Today we're breaking down how much you should have saved at each age, what actually matters, why most online advice is kind of ridiculous, and how even small investing habits can completely change your future. And before anyone panics, if your saving is lower than the numbers we talk about today, you are not doomed. You're just a squirrel who maybe got distracted eating Funyuns behind a gas station for a few years. It happens. So when people talk about savings goals, they usually throw out giant, scary numbers. You should have 100,000 by 30. You need $1 million to retire. If you're 24 without investments, you've already failed. Relax, Warren Buffett Beaver. The problem is, most financial advice ignores 3 things: income, debt, and the fact that life is expensive now. Rent is insane, groceries feel like luxury collectibles, and apparently every app subscription on Earth is now $14.99 a month. At this point, I'm expecting my flashlight app to ask if I want the premium beam package. Okay, early 20s. This stage is less about having tons of money and more about avoiding catastrophic squirrel behavior. Scout at 22 is making some money, not enough money, and at least one terrible decision. At this age, your goals are simple. Goal number 1, build an emergency fund. You want at least $1,000 minimum and eventually 3 to 6 months of expenses. Why? Because life loves surprise attacks. Flat tire, medical bill, your raccoon roommate steals your identity? You need protection. Goal number 2, start investing early. This is the most important thing in this entire video. Not how much you invest, but when you start. Because compound interest is basically a superpower. If Scout invests $300 a month starting at 20, and another squirrel named Peanut waits until 30 to start, Scout can end up with hundreds of thousands more dollars, even if Peanut invests more later. That's the magic of time. Your 20s are basically the financial equivalent of planting acorns before winter. Tiny acorns, massive future tree. Goal number 3, avoid lifestyle inflation. This is where squirrels become dangerous. You get your first decent paycheck and suddenly you're buying $7 coffees, a luxury treehouse apartment, and a moonroof on your Honda Civic. Why does the Civic need a moonroof, Scout? The biggest trap in your 20s is increasing your spending every time your income goes up. Most people don't become broke because they make too little. They become broke because every raise becomes an excuse to upgrade their entire life. So, how much should you have saved by 25? A good target is around half your annual salary saved or invested. But honestly, if you're avoiding debt, building habits, and investing consistently, you're already ahead of a huge number of people. Now, your 30s are where money starts becoming real. No more, I'm just figuring things out. Now it's, oh wow, I need health insurance and my back hurts for no reason. By 30, a strong goal is 1 year of salary saved. So if you make $70,000 a year, you'd aim for around $70,000 invested and saved. But again, this is not a pass or fail test. It's a direction. So what matters most in your 30s? Increasing your income. Your income matters way more than clipping coupons. You can only save so much money by skipping lattes. At some point you need to earn more, build skills, negotiate raises, or create additional income. Scout learned this after trying to retire purely by using expired book coupons. It did not go well. Another thing that matters in your 30s is investing consistently. This is where consistency wins. Not flashy crypto gambles, not meme stocks, not Professor Wolfclaw's Wealth Academy on TikTok. Just boring, consistent investing. The squirrel who quietly invests every month usually beats the squirrel trying to get rich overnight. And honestly, that's kind of unfair, but it's true. Now, your 40s. Your 40s are where financial decisions start compounding hard. Good decisions help massively, bad decisions become expensive. This is also the age where people suddenly realize retirement is not some distant magical event. It's approaching at full speed like a shopping cart with one broken wheel. By 40, a common target is around 3 times your salary invested. At this point, your investments should hopefully be doing noticeable work. This is where compound growth starts getting exciting. You may notice, wait, my investments made more money this year than I saved? That's the moment finance starts feeling less like suffering and more like strategy. So what's your biggest danger in your 40s? Lifestyle creep. You finally make good money, and suddenly everyone becomes a luxury squirrel. Bradley the squirrel buys a vacation cabin, a giant truck, a boat, and somehow still complains about being broke. Bradley is a cautionary tale. Alright, your 50s and beyond. So by your 50s, retirement becomes less theoretical. This is where people either feel calm, prepared, and stable, or they begin Googling, can raccoons inherit debt? By 50, a strong target is around 5 to 6 times your salary invested. And by 60, often around 8 to 10 times your salary. But here's the important part, and the truth that nobody talks about. There is no perfect number. Seriously, some people inherit money, have high incomes, or get lucky. Others support their family, deal with debt, have medical issues, or just survive incredibly difficult situations. Finance isn't a straight line, and comparing yourself non-stop is one of the fastest ways to become miserable. So what actually matters then? These 5 things matter more than almost anything else. Spend less than you earn. The ancient squirrel law. Avoid high interest debt. Credit card debt is basically a raccoon chewing through your wallet every month. Invest consistently. Even small amounts matter. Increase income over time. Skills pay bills. Unfortunately, inspirational squirrel quotes do not. Give it time. This is the hardest one, because everyone wants results immediately, but wealth usually grows slowly, and then suddenly, like a squirrel who accidentally planted an entire forest without realizing it. So if you're watching this and thinking, man, I'm behind, you probably aren't as behind as you think. The fact that you're even learning about this stuff already puts you ahead of a lot of people. Most people avoid money conversations entirely because it's stressful. But understanding money gives you options, and options give you freedom. And freedom is the whole point. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and join the squirrel colony here at Squirrel Away Savings. Next time, we'll be talking about more financial stuff, which is either going to be educational or deeply emotionally damaging. Probably both. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Good job saving, Scout.